You got one with this one, Melody?
All right, shalom to elected Israel, to the hopeful elected Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, Haitians, foreign Israelites that look like the other nations scattered across the four corners of the earth. Want to give all praise to Barak, was shy. Got to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash. Name of the Heavenly Father, everybody ignorantly calls God. His true name in the ancient Hebrew, which is in the Rawchaa, Qadash. His true name is Yahawah. Bahasham means in the name of. Yahawashi is the Holy One of Israel. Everybody ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, a so-called Negro from the tribe of Judah, who was slain at the foundations of the earth for the salvation of the elected Israel. Then you got 2/3 of the wicked Israelites here in America, Babylon the Great, and the other wicked Israelites scattered across the four corners of the earth will come back to the loins of the elect after the destruction. The Rawchaa Qadash is the Holy Spirit that's been bestowed upon the men. The Heavenly Father gave his only begotten Son out of the world to complete this work. So we always want to give double honors to those and apostles, great millstone, led us all to this truth. Been ordained by the Lord to teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, fast, show forth the Lord's righteousness and mercy, judgment, forgiveness, and raptures are part of the elect to the hopeful elect. Lord wouldn't be part of that number. Lord wouldn't be able to find us in fear and name of the Lord, striving to show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. His judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah 3:5, it is not slack. 2 Peter 3:9 is unto a ring. 2 Ezra chapter 5, verse 42. Shabbat Shalom to all y'all tune in here and on after. Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash, Barak Atham. And we're going to go into a land back, going into one of the elders, one of the brothers, lesson that he did earlier today. And I wanted to kind of add a couple things that the Spirit told me to just kind of do a response on it and kind of just back up some of the stuff that he was talking about, going in a few things that I found, the Spirit lead me to kind of point out about this topic. And a couple things about it. So, you know, uh, we're basically coming into a point where, the time is running out. So everything that isn't being seen right now is going to be undeniable. Like it's going to come to a point to where everything in the spirit world is going to be seen, by just your physical eyes. Like that's what we're coming into. We're coming into a time where there's not going to be nothing hidden. And, the Lord, he's the one who's going to allow these demons, these Edomites, Esau, even so-called white man, for a lot of these satanic rituals they're about to do, he's going to let them do it. Okay, but it's going to be ultimately him authorizing it to bring upon Jacob's trouble. Okay, so we're going to go and watch some of this video and listen to the testimony of this elder. GMS contrition is key. God. So this is one of the elders, and he was going into a stranger that he met, that he's been known for a while. And this stranger mentioned some things to him about a specific time. And I want to add some stuff to this and kind of just go by the spirit on what I've seen in it as well, to add to it, because it's not a topic that isn't really talked about. And, I listen to all of it, so subscribe and be edified. Go check out Zaquan's channel. And he had a very interesting, edifying lesson that made me want to go kind of look up some things as well. So we're going to go into this. And his title was "A Stranger Warned Me About the Time of Scorpio, or the Scorpion." Okay. But as you would go into, how they do the zodiac signs, it's a sign called Scorpio, from what a lot of y'all know. And Esau uses a lot of this stuff to implement certain spirits in the earth. Okay. And this is one of the times where they do it the most. And we're going to show you why and give you some examples. Okay. So we're going to watch some of this, and then I'm going to point out some things. And I'm going to try to make this quick, but there is a lot of stuff that I want to touch on. So it might be, we're going to be finna go in. So Lord willing, is edifying to the flock. This is GMS Allah coming out of the GMS OK-LA-Homa branch. And we finna get into this topic, man. And it's going to be heavy, but not heavy in a sense where it's just super deep. But you're going to find out that we don't have a lot of time.
Shalom.
Okay. We're almost out of time. We're literally almost at the end of the clock. Okay. It's not going to be too much time for you to get right with your Bahasham Yahawashi. So let's go into this.
First and foremost, I want to give all the praises, the glory, the honor unto Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations. Much love and respect to you, Akim, out there pushing this word out in truth and sincerity. And this lesson is going to be entitled, "What a Stranger Told Me About the Time of Scorpio." Okay. And when I say stranger, I really mean angel. Okay, the same individual that you see in this image that I've done maybe a few lessons on, that I told you that he's an angel of the Lord. That's, basically a double agent on the earth. Okay, and this is an individual that I see often, very often. All right, but he's a very peculiar individual because he's not from this world. Okay, and some brothers may not be able to see it, maybe because they're not in a spiritual mindset, and they might say, "Oh, he's too light skinned. The angels would only come looking like John Shaft." The Most High will send the angel down looking however he wants him to look. Okay, these are spiritual beings, and you have to be spiritual to even perceive that you're talking to an angel. And there's just so many signs and so many things that prove to me that this man is an angel, that he's not just a regular individual. First of all, this video I did, he's wearing a crown of feathers.
And just for edification for people who are new to what we're about to go into, watch this video. When we go into that word angel, it really goes back to the word malak, okay, which is in the Hebrew, which means king, okay, angel or messenger, okay. So an angel can be presented as a messenger as well, okay, because a lot of people have been blinded by Greek and Roman mythology to make you think an angel is just somebody flying on wings. Angels don't always appear like that. A lot of times they appear as messengers, okay.
And that he made himself, by the way. He made that by himself. I didn't ask him how he made it, but he didn't buy that from the store. This was actual pigeon feathers. Was he hunting pigeons? No, I don't think so. Okay. And what he was wearing when I saw him, was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. He was wearing glasses, and I thought they were regular glasses till I got closer.
So
and
for y'all didn't heard what he said earlier, this guy had a crown with pigeon feathers on his head. And how is it spiritual? Because we know that even like people like why you think what's his name, the boxer, Mike Tyson, why you think he takes care of them pigeons? Because the pigeons are messenger birds. They always used them in World War II to bring messages and stuff. Okay, this is why we're showing you it's a message that's being sent right now. Okay,
really what they were was these, you know how how the brothers make the stones using the copper cord,
right? So you see that, you see how he's talking about those stones with the copper wire. I make those too. Okay, let me see if I can show one. They look like this. Hold on real quick. Let me grab it. It's in my bag. But yeah, copper does a lot of like good stuff for your body, you know. So I'm gonna show a couple of ones that I made, but because it's just kind of spiritual. He said that this guy, he has some glasses like this, and I haven't seen nobody with glasses with them. But I'll show a couple of them that I made, because this is what I'll be doing in my spare time. I'll be making them. So they kind of look like this. See what I'm saying? They look like this. And it's got the copper wrapped around them. So that's what he had on his face. Okay, and he had stones on it. Okay? So we're going to keep going. I'm just trying to, kind of just add on to, brothers be making these.
cords. It was glasses that he made himself, that you could tell because it was uneven, right? That was the copper cords with the stone in the middle of his forehead and the stone and the stone on both sides of his head. Okay.
So that's pretty dope, because he made some glasses out of copper wire and put stones on them. I ain't never seen nobody do that. That's pretty unique. It's probably tough to do. So he's not like he's like a weirdo or something. He actually know what he's doing, in a sense. Like he has some sense of intelligence. You know what I'm saying? To make his own glasses, man.
When he told me the benefits of the stone. Listen, man. There's a lot of reasons why I know this is not a regular individual, but that's not the point. Let me go into the point of what one of the things that were said. Okay, one of the things that was said because we did have an extensive conversation. One of the things that was said was, I'm not going to tell you everything, but I'll tell you this part. This part I want to do a lesson on was that, he said that, we're coming into the time of the scorpion, right? So, he said that you're going to feel dead around that time. And, that's when I say, brothers have that blast spirit, that I guess you could say languishing spirit, right? So he said you're going to feel like that during the time of Scorpio that we're coming into, which he said was November 23rd.
So you see how he said November 23rd, right? Well, we're going to listen to him a little bit more. I got some precepts I want to go into, but I'm going to go back to that date, okay? And I'm going to show you symbolically why this guy said that date, okay? I'm going to point out some things.
But we'll get back to normal. I'll feel back to normal and he said it like he's included in it. We'll feel back to normal after the time of Christmas. Okay. And I'm gonna
point out something else concerning that. I'm gonna show something else. It's a series that's about to come out that's literally dealing with what's Zaquan's talking about right here. Okay, it's all a message getting portrayed all at the same time, and it's just like in the scriptures, different prophets was getting different parts of different messages the Lord was sending.
Looked up the time of Scorpio, because you have to understand that these elites and these top level witches do witchcraft, do high level witchcraft on certain days, because the time of Scorpio is truly the time of was it Samhain, right? You think that October 31st represents Samhain? No, but remember, they did things according to the moon in the ancient world. They didn't do things according to some Gregorian calendar. Remember, this goes back to the ancient world. This was dictated by the moon.
So we're gonna go to that real quick. The Samhain definition. We're gonna go into there and go a little bit into that to give you what he's saying before we listen to a little bit more to what he's saying, because he's gonna explain some more things too. So it says Samhain, okay, is an ancient Celtic festival marking the end of the harvest and the beginning of winter. It was celebrated on the night of October 31st into November 1st, right? This is what Halloween used to be called, okay? But it's deeper than that. Like it's gonna go into more later what it's saying. So it marks the Celtic New Year is marked in the transition from the light half of the year to the dark half, right? We're coming into the darker half of the year is what they celebrate, okay? It says a spiritual thinning of the veil. It says ancient Celts believed the boundary between the living and the dead was thinnest, allowing spirits and ancestors to cross over, okay? So this is how we know this is right now a time that they're going to be doing stuff like this, okay? They're going to be trying to do weird enchantments, okay? But there's one thing that protects us as, Israelites, is because we claim to be Israelites. We don't claim to be Americans in a sense. We don't claim to be so-called black people or so-called Hispanics or so-called Native Americans. We call ourselves Israelites. And this is what, Jacob's name was changed to Israel. So, this is how we know that this is how we can see them, what they're finna do, in a sense, because there's no enchantment that can't come upon us. Okay. There's no enchantment that can really fool us, because we have the scriptures. And then one thing that the elder mentioned, he was talking about even when Yahawashi was on the scene, and he fasted for those 40 days and 40 nights, and Satan came to him. I don't know why it's not pulling up. Hold on. Oh yeah, it's right here. You know, when Satan pulled up on him, all he used was the scriptures. He didn't use anything else. That's what we tell you. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. Because it said, arm yourselves likewise like Yahawashi. So every time Satan came to tempt him, he used the scriptures. That's why you got to really know what you're talking about, man. Or the Satan's going to be able to overpower you. You got to really know what you're talking about when you're, dealing with the Lord's word. This is Numbers chapter 23, verse 23. Surely there is no enchantment against Jacob, neither is there any divination against Israel. According to this time, it shall be said of Jacob and Israel, talking about the 12 tribes, what hath the Most High wrought. Basically saying that whatever enchantments they put out, those weapons are not going to prosper against the elect. Lord willing, if we are their number. So we're going to keep going a little bit, and then I'm going to show some more stuff. Going into a little bit back into that definition, but I want to play a little bit more what he said and let him pull up a precept too, and then I'm going to pull up one.
October 31st was not the true Samhain, okay? And the witches understand that. The true Samhain is really in the time of the Scorpio that's coming up, okay?
Because we're going by the elder's gonna say we're going by the.
Let me get that.
Not,
this is matter of fact. Let me get.
Like he said, they don't go by the Gregorian calendar. Okay, the real witches and warlocks of America, Babylon the Great, they're going by the time before they changed it. Okay, so when they're doing stuff, not as many people are going to have that understanding that they're going to do it at a certain time.
Get this, Ephesians 6:10. It says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Okay, and the wiles means the trickery of the devil. Okay, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. So there's rulers that are, doing a lot of rituals and things of that nature, on high levels, especially at certain times of the year. And we are affected by that. Okay. Everyone is affected by that, but especially the men of the Lord, because, we're on the right-hand side. So we're sensitive to evil. Okay. So we feel
and we're so sensitive to evil. When we used to see it, we used to put it to death. Okay. So that's how it really affects you as a righteous person. That's what we said. You can't really be successful here and then not be vexed about this place. Either way.
A particular way around certain times when they're doing high level witchcraft. Okay, we feel a particular way. All right. So we're wrestling against, it's a spiritual battle, and Satan is trying to draw you out in different ways spiritually. He can use people. He can use your own emotions. He can use events. Okay. So you have to be mindful of the wiles of the devil. Okay. It says, wherefore take unto you the whole armor. Matter of fact, did I finish this? Let me read this again. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness. Okay.
That's talking about having the knowledge. That's going into having the understanding of the interpretations of the scriptures. A lot of people just say they know the Lord because they just read the Bible. That's not how this works. So when you go into, before he gets a little bit more into it, I'm going to put another precept in, and then I want to point something else out because I really want to go through the majority of his video. But I want to point something else out real quick. We're going to go to Second Edges to show you that the Lord is going to allow these demons, okay? He's going to allow these witches to bring in some stuff, man. Okay? He's going to allow some very demonic spirits to cross over for the time of Jacob's trouble. And a lot of them are already out here. just typed it wrong. Second Esdras. Hold on. Why is it not doing it? That's right. Oh, I gotta just do it like that. I can't put the what? Man. Hold on. That's weird. It's not popping up. There you go, right there. Second Esdras 13:29. That's what I was putting in there, but I don't know. Second Esdras chapter 13, verse 29. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth, right? Through giving us the knowledge, okay, to understand what's about to happen. 30. And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth, right? Because they're gonna get caught off guard because they're not understanding what's about to happen. A lot of people are not understanding that you're gonna start seeing stuff in the physical that wasn't seen at first. There's a lot of stuff on the earth right now that's not seen, okay? But it's like on the earth, but it's finna connect with the physical, and you're gonna be able to see it all. So you gotta have yourself spiritually in tune, so you won't bug out, man. Verse 31, and one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, going into civil war, World War III, one people against another, and one realm against another. Okay, the realm, the whole another realm is coming. I want to go into this TV show, and a lot of people know it. We're about to go into a second, and the Lord is going to cause this to happen. He's going to force it. Okay, so you know how the elder was saying the angel said it was on 11:23, right? Well, when you look in the time zones that they set, it's basically a message, because the 11th hour is basically the last hour. When you're doing a clock with 12 numbers on it, 11 is the last hour before the clock resets. Okay, so then it's the same way with the 24th or the 23rd hour. That's the last hour before the whole clock resets. Okay, so it's symbolizing what they're finna do. This is what they're finna do on this day. Okay, they're gonna do it right then. So it says the 11th hour is a very well-known symbol across religion, literature, secret society type teachings. It generally means last chance before the deadline. Biblically says it says the Most High's mercy at the last atonement, right? And we'll just read through them. The last chance before a deadline, right before it's too late, a moment of decision or crisis, a warning that time has almost run out. Okay, so this is what this guy is telling the elder right now. The time's almost up. Okay, the Lord's about to make the famine of the word happen. Everything's going to start going off to where everybody who's supposed to be sealed in the truth is going to be sealed. And it's not going to look like it is for some people, you know, but, you know, a lot of other people, you know, it will, man. It will. You're going to start seeing like we're out of time. Yeah. Shalom, shalom. Yahawashi, Shabashim, Qadash, Barakatham to everybody who tunes in here and on after. You know, we ain't got too many times we get to sit down and just talk about Yahawashi, Yahawashi, man. This is really all that we need to be doing, because they're finna not let us do it no more. It says God's mercy at the last moment, late changes, late repentance, unexpected reward for those who come in late. See? So just because you came into the truth now, don't fear, Jake. Just because you get here and you like barely made it, because that's how I was when I came in the truth a couple years ago. Like, I'm coming in on my third year. I was scared. I thought I wasn't going to make it. But the Lord pulled me in on the 11th hour, just like it says with the when it comes to the men in the vineyard. So just because you got here on the 11th hour, it doesn't mean that the Lord's not dealing with you. And just keep your faith and know that, you know, you made it here at least. You just got to hold on to it and grow in it. So esoteric occult interpretation, the transitional hour before destruction or rebirth. Okay, they're about to set this place. The great reset, all that. They're finna reset this place. But first, they got to put the right spirits in here that they want so it can really push forward. Okay? That's what they're finna do. A moment where timelines can still shift. A test of awareness or readiness. That's why they did stuff like the food stamps thing. So political or elite symbolism. It says not literally used by politicians or billionaires. We're talking about Amalek, the first descendants of Esau. A time for final decisions behind the scenes. Pressure moment before a major announcement, right? MOTB being made mandatory. War being declared. World War III. Okay? Civil War. They're making sure they're making all their moves right now. A crisis point where moves are made. That's what it's saying. And then when you go over here, 23rd hour, see? The hour before midnight. What's that? Doomsday, Judgment Day. Endings, transformation, start of a new cycle. Right? One step before the end. That's where we're at right now. That's what's being said. Okay? A time of tension, but not full collapse. See? We're just at we're right there though. Okay? The calm before the storm. We heard Trump say that. You see what I'm saying? It's nearly at a breaking point right now. 23 is a change and it's a chaos number. That's why we was talking about Michael Jordan with his 23 and the number red 23 and Jim Carrey making the movie number 23 and red is the 23rd number and then all that. Like that's why they're okay. Blood is coming. Okay, and the Lord's gonna let them do it. Okay. The hour where old order weakens. The transition is inevitable. This is what it's talking about. This is what it's talking about right here. When he said 11:23, we're at the last hour. Okay? Before you can't get right no more, man. And you've chosen, your side has been chosen who you're going to be on. You're going to be with the elect or you're going to be with everybody else. Okay? That's what's coming. That realm is about to cross over here, man. And the Lord's going to make it happen. And he's going to send the evil. We're going to prove it in 2 scriptures. And then I want to go back and watch some more of the elders video because he really says a bunch of stuff. This will have me thinking about what I'm putting out here. Jeremiah chapter 11, verse 11. This is how we know it's going to be real evil, man. It's going to be pure evil that's going to be sent, man. And the Lord said he was going to do this. Okay? And he did do it. And he's about to do it again, but it's going to be more terrifying than he's ever done it. We're going to prove you that he's going to send it. Jeremiah chapter 11, verse 11. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, which is talking about Yahawah, the Heavenly Father right here, because it's all caps. With the Lord, it says, behold, I will bring evil upon them. This is talking about the wicked of our people, Israelites. Okay? So right now, all the ones that have not asked for forgiveness and asked for repentance to Yahawashi, the Lord is going to bring evil upon them again. He did it once to all of us. We all had to face this evil, which was Esau eating the so-called white man. Okay? He's going to use them to bring even more than that. He's going to spawn some new creatures out here that none of us has ever seen, man. He's going to allow them to bring them crossover. I will bring evil upon them. That's why the Leviathan's going to wake up. I will bring evil upon them, and they shall not be able to escape. And though they shall cry unto me, I will not hearken unto them. That's what's coming right now. You're going to have a lot of people crying out to the Lord, and he's not going to hearken to them because they profaned his name, man. They didn't want to come back to the names. And it's something that simple, man. Like Jake just this is how you know the Lord's making them not change and repent. Because if anybody had a free will to hear about Yahawashi and learn and really know his terror in a sense of like knowing, like, you know, just really realizing all the stuff that he's done so far to Israel and these other nations as well. He did worse to us, but there's no way Jake will be in his right mind and be out of his mind, not be repenting, man. This Isaiah 45:7. I form the light, I create darkness, I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So this evil that's coming, the Lord created it. He created it, and it's going to be sent, man. And he's making movies. He's making Esau make movies and stuff to show you that they're about to cross over, because this episode I'm gonna show you about, it's literally talking about the spirit world connecting with this world. Okay, and it's coming out on November 26th, 3 days after they do that shit. Okay, and then they only gonna drop like 4 or 5 episodes of it, and then we'll go into it in a second, and then they're gonna go into on like December 31st, they're gonna drop the rest of it, and then on January 1st they're gonna drop all of it. Okay, they're gonna play some right after Christmas. I think it's what it said. Just like he said, it's gonna come down after Christmas. They're gonna finish all their little rituals they doing, and then they're gonna do their little rebirth or whatever next year, man. That's what they're finna do. Okay. And it might not seem like it at first. It's gonna look like it's not, but it's gonna hit suddenly, man. Like, and that's why Apostle Har been saying we're months away from this stuff going down, man. And we believe that he's correct, man. We don't think we're gonna be here that much longer. There's too many signs. We're gonna listen a little bit more.
And your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. Okay, your belief in Yahawashi. Okay, but that, everything else that encompasses this truth. You're supposed to take all of those tools with you. Okay, and when you have those tools with you, you're able to fight against, the wiles of the devil. You're able to.
Because it's like if you only got partial of the truth. Let's say like when you trying to fix a bike, if you missing one tool, you can't fix your bike, man. Like if you riding down the street, you need a screwdriver to unscrew something to be able to make your bike work again. You take all the tools, but you leave your screwdriver, you through. So that's why we study so hard and make sure we know what we talking about, man. We got to make sure we know what we talking about, Jake. That's why when people be like, not getting the doctrine right or not showing no effort or not growing, we be like, get the hell away from us, man, because this is not going to be no joke, man. This is going to be a terrifying time, man. It's not going to be nothing to play with.
To overcome, right? When Satan came to Yahawashi, what did he do? He quoted scriptures. He stuck to the scriptures. Okay? It says, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Most High, right? So you combat, you fight with the word of the Most High. Remember the scriptures. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints.
So one thing I want to point out too, like I said, going into this because I like his title. His title kind of put the spirit on me to go point out this show that I was talking about. Like he said, A Stranger. Well, they got this season 5 coming out called Stranger Things. Okay, and it's literally about the spirit world crossing over into the physical world. Okay, if you haven't watched it, you can go watch it and you'll see like it's basically like little ripple holes where basically you can step into the spirit world and it looks like everything over here, but it looks like chaos over there. Okay, and it's like a bunch of demons in there. Well, that shit is about to be here. Okay, that's basically what it's showing. So you see right here, here's the release date information. Volume 1, episodes 1 through 4. Appears November 26, 2025, right? What did the elder say? He said, the dude said, right after Christmas, we're going to step out of that struggle of that time of the Scorpio. Literally a day after, they're going to drop this shit. Okay, this is what, this is what the Lord's doing. He's showing like secrets in a sense. Then look, volume 2, he dropped it on what? December 25th. He said right between that time and this time. Then right after Christmas, it's gonna be like you're gonna feel a shift. Okay, I'm talking about us being us as spiritual people. We're gonna feel a shift right here. Then he said the final episodes is gonna be on December 31st, the last day. Okay, the final hour, 11 or 23, whichever the one you want to choose. Okay. Shit's literally what they're saying, man. And we'll watch the trailer in a second because I wanted to pull out the trailer, but I want to you know, show you why I pulled up some of this stuff, because he mentions some of this stuff at the end of his lesson. But I advise you just go watch it, man, because it was definitely a heavy lesson.
And for me, that utterance may be given unto me, that I may open my mouth boldly to make known the mystery of the gospel. So, you know, you have to make sure that your mind is in this truth, that you have the tools that, you know, of this truth. Okay, that you understand this truth, that you have the faith of Yahawashi, you know, that you're doing, you know, things according to righteousness, you know, which is ultimately through faith. Okay, by walking in the spirit. You have all these things, and the wiles of the devil, you know, they can't affect you how it affects the average person.
See?
You see what I'm saying? This is 2nd Ezra 15:6. It says, matter of fact, I'll start at 5. It says, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. So the earth is so overran by wickedness, and the elect men are being affected by this. It beats down the spirit, our spirit. It beats down our spirit, you know. Lord willing, you know, I be of that number, but it beats down our spirit, you know, being in a righteous spirit, okay, to the point where we feel dead, we feel, you know, uneasy, we feel aggravated, we feel, you know, chafe in the spirit, so on and so forth. You know, unsettled. You know, we got scattered energy. You know, certain brothers feel, you know, you feel that anxiety sometimes. I feel that anxiety every now and then, which that's a demon. Okay. And why? Because we're in a wicked, evil world. Right? It's not a particular thought that you're having. It's just the energy is off.
See what I'm saying? The energy is off here, and we can feel it a lot more than everybody else. That's why, you know, a lot of times y'all see us, you know, you can tell we're vexed, because it's a heavy weight on us, man, because this place is built to keep us from spiritually being awakened. And this scriptures, the more we soak into it and get into it, the more spiritual we become, but the harder the battle becomes for you to remain spiritual here. That's why we tell you, the apostles and elders, they dealing with stuff, man. That's why we say double honors, man. Like, they're really dealing with way more than us.
Right? That's why sometimes it's good to get into the stones, wearing certain stones, you know, that can balance your energy, eating a proper diet that can balance your energy, so on and so forth. Because we're fighting against heavy demonic power on the left-hand side.
For real. And a lot of people know it too, because sometimes I'll be going out, because like I usually wear a lot more stones than this, you know, but a couple of mine broke or whatever, so I got to remake them. But when I go out, sometimes some people be like, "Oh, damn, you," and I know they witches too. When they be saying, they be like, "Damn, you protected out here," like they be saying that shit, okay? Because they be casting spells on people out here and shit, man. They really be doing that shit. And if you don't have Yahawashi with you, he's gonna let that shit work on you, and they're gonna enchant you with some shit, and it's not gonna be good for you, man. The Lord's really going to let them use that wicked hand left side, and you're going to see that shit's real, man, because the Most High is making that shit real. It ain't them. The Most High is going to make that shit real. So don't take that shit as a joke.
We have to do all that we can to combat that. Okay? This is it says, therefore saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. Oh, we're constantly complaining to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi about this kingdom. Okay? Even in our sleep, our spirit is groaning. And therefore, saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Okay? And like this angel said, because I'm listen, brother, I've been seeing this guy for this brother for years now, a few years now. And I'm telling you what he is, okay? And the spirit, this is what I believe. This is what I believe. I'm gonna say this is what I believe. This is what I believe without a doubt. I'm ask me how much I believe he's an angel, I'm gonna tell you 10 out of 10. That's how much I believe. It's too spiritual. He's not a normal individual, and he talks spiritual. So the only way you could really understand what he's saying is if you're in the spirit. Only people that are in the spirit could really understand what he's saying, because there's a message in what he's saying, but he speaks in parables.
It's a message. It's a clock. Okay.
Anyways, like I told you, man, he was wearing
glasses. We're telling you, it's a clock, man. It's a clock. What he's saying. We're basically in the 11th hour or the 23rd hour, if you want to use military time. We're just before they're about to transform everything. That's why he says it's going to feel real weird, and then they're going to transfer over, and then this whole next year, after we get through the Passover, shit's going to, hey, everybody's going to know what we were talking about right now. That's why Apostle Tahar's channel just got knocked down. He's on now. He's on GMS declaring the end, and for 3 months, man, they shut it down for 3 months. They'll tell you, man, it's gonna come to a point where the apostles they gonna cut them off the internet, man, and then you're gonna start slowly seeing us getting cut off, and then you're gonna really see, man, you should have, if you wasn't listening, man, you gonna know you fucked up. You should have listened. But I'm gonna point out something real quick after you talk a little bit more.
Glasses.
The days of Passover is going into next year, but Passover is like it's going basically in the time of March when Yahawashi was crucified. But you know what I'm saying? Like that's something that you don't want to just do unless you really want to embed yourself in the truth. If you're new, the apostles always say, you could do a small Passover by yourself, but just take a day at a time. And I'll try to remember Rawchaa. I'll post some, some things in the comment board, and you can go in and kind of just learn a little bit about how we treat the Passover, because it's a sacred ceremony, man. So, really just get learned up in the truth and pray to the Lord to have him give you purpose to help him serve his tabernacle, man. And he'll lead you, man, if you're really sincere. So, I don't want to go too far into it, because then I'll go up. They know, man, brothers know I'll go all over the place. We'll be here 3 hours. So let me keep going right here. Let me go and keep going. Let the elder speak a little bit.
He made himself out of these copper things, these copper cords that brothers used to put stones in, and he had stones, one in the middle, one on the side of the glasses. But bizarre, peculiar, right? The scriptures say that we are a peculiar people.
That's why we be doing stuff like that, man. That's why we do stuff like that.
Anyways, Salakia. So I want to read this, right? This information that I got dealing with the astrology, right? Because I wasn't sure what he meant by the time of Scorpion, because he said the time of the Scorpion. So anyways, let me do something here.
So I was just reading over it a little bit too, what he's about to go into. I want to point out a couple more things. I want to pull up a couple more precepts, and then you know, we'll probably get out of here. We might listen a little bit to more of it. But okay, so these people worship astrology and stuff. And I remember back then I learned this before I came in the truth. But you know, I did that video going into Michael Jordan and you know how he has that number 23 and all that, right? How they worshiped that star, right? We know that Miley Cyrus, she was born on November 23rd, 11/22. So or 11/23. So it's and I was looking up a lot of different people's birthdays, and a lot of famous people's birthdays is on that day. So don't be surprised if you see something with these famous stars who's born on this day, something happened to them, or they doing something like. Don't be surprised. Okay, she was the one who did that whole, you know, I think it was September 24th. They was putting out that Michael Jordan song with the J's on and the number 23. Now they got this thing going on the 23rd. Okay, and it's all going back to this star that they worship. And I've mentioned it before, but I'm gonna bring it up again. And it's called Sirius. Like you have Sirius Radio. You know how they had a Sirius Radio? Well, it's a star that they worship. Okay, a lot of the different a lot of these different heathens worship this star. See, it says Sirius is the brightest star in the night sky, located in the southern constellation of Canis Major. Right, Cain. Okay, no wonder why they worship this damn thing. Okay, and they be doing sacrifices on it and everything. Like Michael Jordan's dad was sacrificed on July 23rd, 1993. Okay, like there's all types of stuff that's happening around this star that they be doing stuff. Okay, that's why you see that they're doing it on what 11/23. Okay, that's how we know they're gonna do it. Okay, Canis Majoris or Alpha Canis Major is like it's a Sirius A and a Sirius B star system. Okay, they orbit about every 50 years. Okay, so when you go into the numbers, you know how we tell you how they do everything numerically, and their numbers, they're always making them 3s and 6s and 9s, or they use 5s because they do numerology. That's why it says right here, slightly over the next 60,000 years, blah 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 blah. Right, next 210,000 year, they always using these numbers. Okay, but when you go down here, it's also known as the dog star. Okay, and you know how how you say God backwards is dog. Okay, so this is how you know, like, you know, these people, they're very strategic on how they worship their gods. And see, it says Sirius is colloquially known as the dog star. Reflection is prominence in the constellation the greater dog, right? The Helectio rising of Sirius for the ancient Greeks, while the Polynesian, and it says ancient Hebrew. It says the Cyrus marked the flooding of the Nile in ancient Egypt. See, this how we tell you this. That's why we tell you this is spiritually Sodom and Egypt, man. They're worshiping the same stuff because these are the same spirits that's back conjuring this shit up, man. This is them. Shalom, Malak, Bahasham, Bahasham, Qadash, Barak, Atham, or Barak. Shalom, Malak. We're going to read his scripture, 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, right? We're not ignorant of his stuff. We know, like, what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? It says mostly the southern hemisphere, the star marked winter. See? It marked winter and was important reference for their navigation around the Pacific Ocean. See? And what did he say? He said that it was the beginning of what? Winter, the darker half of the year. See? This is the stuff that this going back to. This is all going back to ancient Greek and Roman and Roman and Greek, Roman, Egyptian mythology, man. Worship. Star worship. Okay. So we're going to go into a couple things, a couple more things into it, what it links to show you that this is why we call it spiritually Sodom and Egypt. Okay. Etymology, the proper name Sirius comes from the Latin Sirius, the ancient Greek Sirios, glowing or scorcher, right? The Greek word itself may have been imported from elsewhere before the Archaic period, right? Which is, we don't really have to go too much into that, but it's basically around the Dark Ages, which is talking about the Byzantine Empire. So that's where they get the word from, because our own people, Jake was worshiping this stuff too. Okay, that's why Byzantine, that word means backwards. Our people we weren't doing right, man. We were worshiping stuff like this. Okay, the majority of our people. One authority suggesting a link with the Egyptian god Osiris. See, this is how we know they worship this stuff. This is why the elder was saying that dude was that angel was saying it's gonna be on 11/23. That's why he said them numbers, because he knows the numbers. Okay, this esoteric knowledge, like they know what they talking about. Okay, this is the way of the heathen, and we're not supposed to, practice this stuff. Here it is, Jeremiah 10 verse 2. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the sign of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. They worship this stuff. They use it to follow and navigate stuff and to commit sacrifices around it. You need to be aware of this stuff. So when weird stuff starts happening around, you don't think it's a strange child coming upon you. You got to know this stuff, in a sense. Because I was watching some random movie yesterday. Sometimes I'll be doing that. And there was a quote a lady said. She said to this Jake, he was like, when you come towards your destiny, there's going to be a crossroad. And it's up to you to look both ways. You got to see the light and the darkness, good and the evil. You got to see all that. So when you cross over, you know what you're stepping into. That's why a lot of people is going flake, man. Because they're not prepared to know how deep these demons can really get, on a sense. We ain't saying we going all the way in, but we got a gist of how they're doing stuff, man. And we're preparing, for the Lord to carry us the rest of the way. So one authority link is with the Egyptian god Osiris, right? The name earliest recorded in the dates of the 7th century. 7th century was talking about Hesiod's poetic work days. The International Astronomical Union organized a working group on star names, and they named all this stuff. So it said it has over 50 designations and names attached to it. Okay, a couple of them I want to point out. This one right here that I was going into earlier. You remember how they said they said this star represents, see, it says Shiva. What's that? That's them Ishmaelites god. Okay, the same one that's right outside of CERN. Okay, that does what? They do all that astronomical shit, trying to open portals and shit. Okay, that's how you know they're finna try to do some shit right here. Okay, and like the Quan was saying, like the elder was saying, he was saying that they're doing it according to the ancient calendars. They're not going to do it towards the Gregorian calendar like we're living on. So it says another one. It says the star is referred to the Makkah Jayati or something. Okay, and Malayalam. And when you look up that word, it says it's a language. Native Indian state of Kerala, and basically it's like over there in the Middle East, kind of close by the Gaza Strip and whatnot. Okay, and it says it's one of the 22 scheduled languages, well known 11 classical languages of India. See, they're worshiping this stuff over there too. Okay, and when you go into a lot of these numbers, they're all lined up with 3s and 6s and 9s, all of them. Okay, so I just wanted to break that down. See, it's got all this Egyptian shit all over it. Okay, look how the White House and everything set up in the capitals of the White House. Look, there it is. See, that's exactly how Washington D.C. set up. You got the Pentagon, then you got that weird triangle in the middle of it is the White House, and then you got that weird ass circle shit up there. Like it's all mapped out like that. Okay? That's how you know this is what they're worshiping. Okay? Man, these motherfuckers is not no game, Jake. But like I said, they dropping that movie. They dropping that movie that Stranger Things. And I want to point out two scriptures, and then we're gonna watch this. I'm glad I only took an hour. We're gonna watch this. I thought it was gonna take longer than that. We're gonna watch this trailer to the Stranger Things, and then we're gonna close out. You know, I'm probably gonna watch it because I watched all the other seasons, and it's actually, you know, has a lot of esoteric little secrets in it that it be saying. Like even like one, and brothers are starting to pull that stuff out too, man. Like one of the brothers, I watched this video the other day, and you know, me and Zaquan, one of our favorite movies to talk about is Back to the Future, and he went and found a wall that had Esau written on it. Okay, so this how you know they be, man, like they know stuff, man, and it was written on stone. Like Jake be thinking like Esau don't know shit. Jake, man, Esau, the dark rulers that's doing all this shit, man, they know who we are, man. They know everything. Okay? They know everything when it comes to, you know, how powerful we truly are as Israelites, in a sense. Okay? That's why they're trying to put curses on us and stuff. And that's why they don't want us to come in the truth and put on that whole armor, because then they know that it ain't going to work on us. They're going to be like, damn, they're just going to keep teaching and stuff. Keep staying in the faith. It's 2 Ezra chapter 4, verse 38, or 4, 37. By measure, he have measured the times. That's why you got certain angels coming out and giving you exact dates now. They're telling you this is this time. Okay? Instead of it saying, like, you know how when you go look it up, it said it was on October 31st. Nah, he said, nah, it's on the 23rd, because he knows that's the number they use. They always use that number, Jake. They always use that number. Every time they're finna do some big transformation, it's the last changes before they really push something. It's always that number, or it's 11. Okay? That's why on the doomsday clock, they got on 11. Okay? Man, Esau's finna make his move. We right there. Ain't gonna be no damn 100 years, Jake. We ain't got too much longer. And by the number have he numbered the times. So you can see the numbers of what Esau's doing, because the Lord is using Esau to number the times. Okay? He said Esau set the clocks like this all over the earth. Okay? That's how it was on Back to the Future too. They had a little secret part in there where you know how you had Doc. Marty was waking up, and he was trying to play something on his guitar because he thought he had enough time before he went to school. But all the clocks in there said 8 o'clock on them. And it was really like 8:50 or something. So he was going to be late or whatever. But he was like, Doc, he was like, why are all these clocks going off? He said, oh, if I set them all at this time, they all hit 8 at the same time in different places. Okay, that's why they got the Pacific Eastern time, Western, you know, Southern, like, bruh, Esau be putting this stuff in the movies because the Lord be telling him to. He wouldn't do it and show us if the Lord didn't want him to. But he's showing shit, man, like how they do shit. So it says he had numbered the times and doeth not move or stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. So if he gave us the understanding, he said he gave us a commandment, just like he did Ezra. He said, measure the time thou diligent. He was telling us, hey, look at this. Measure this. Because then you can well understand that we almost out of time, Jake. You don't need to be playing, basically. And then I got one more. I'm going to read one more after this one, which is going to be real simple. Just talking about the new beast that's going to be coming in here. And then we're going to get out of here. So try not to be too long, but this is, you know, this is what we do, man. We like talking about the end, man. But here it come. Here it come.
What if we could change everything? Break free from the darkness that's pulling us under. We've lost everything, but they're coming back.
We stand together, once and for all. We never give up.
My little ones, now you're with me. William, you will help me one last time.
This is our fight. Our last chance to save everything. We cannot back down, no matter.
See how you seeing all that stuff? That's all on the actual physical plane. It used to be they was only seeing that stuff on the spiritual side. Okay? Because basically these little characters, most of them really represent basically Jake, the elect. Because they're seeing all the supernatural stuff happen first, and they're seeing it because they got told it. So they're the ones trying to fight fight it. Okay, not to give into it. Okay, because basically evil is in us too. Okay, that's basically all I'm saying or whatever.
For the cost.
There is no chance to change this. It's already over.
Also, fair use. We ain't trying to do it for, no gain. It's just for educational purposes only. And that shit is that's the last final season of that whole series. And, just the fact that the elder made that lesson talking about, a stranger, warned him. Okay. So we're finna start seeing strange things in a sense where it's not going to be strange to us because we telling the hopeful elect before it happens. Like, it shouldn't be really that strange to us by the time we get there, especially if the Lord puts that spirit on us to, be able to be kind of desensitized to it. That's why he's allowing Esau to make movies and stuff like that, supernatural movies and stuff like that. Because he's preparing us like, bro, you finna be seeing some shit and you're going to need to make sure that you have the word with you, man. Because that's all it's going to be to able to protect you in that day. There's nothing physical that's going to be able to protect you, man. It's going to be because of that word if you do get protected. So, my last precept, and then we gone. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 11, verse 17. And it reads, "For thy almighty hand that made the world of matter without form wanted not means to send among them a multitude of bears or fierce lions." Right? Verse 18, "Or unknown wild beasts full of rage, newly created, breathing out either a fiery vapor or filthy scents of scattered smoke, or shooting horrible sparks out of their eyes." Right? The point is newly created beasts. And for that person up there, Armor Yahawah, just to kind of throw something else in there, for the Passover, usually a lot of brothers will do like a Passover lesson. So that's how you kind of know when it'll be. And we usually, have brothers announce it and send things. So if you just stick around and you learn and you grow, man, the Lord's gonna make sure you're prepared, So just keep listening and trusting Yahawashi, and He's gonna make sure you equipped with everything that you need. And just get yourself rooted in the faith, take notes, listen to the apostles, of course. That's who we learn from. So, hey, man, hopefully it was edifying for y'all. I just want to do a land back on it because, those are some of the things that the Spirit wanted me to pull out about it from some of the stuff. Because I before I came in the truth, I used to look up a lot of stuff like that all the time, And since I've been in the truth, I've been able to utilize some of it to show some of the way the wicked does things, in the earth. So, of course, it's spirit and power, Yahawashi, that we even have any kind of understanding of this kind of stuff, man. We would have never knew without him. So, hey, the water for tuning in. Shabbat Shalom, Lord ones, edifying to the flock. Shalom to elect Israel. Hebrew Israelites, so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, Haitians, foreign Israelites, elected nations scattered across four corners of the earth. I want to give all praise to Barak, Yahawashi. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Let us all to this truth. Peace and blessing to the elect. Wa Abab Abal, Kwam Yasharallah. Shalom.